If you like onions, this is for you. And if you don't, watch anyway, because maybe you will like them when you're done. We're making deconstructed French onion burger, or to put it plainly, stuffed onions. So come on, let's get our stuff out and put this together. First up, we got to put together some hamburger seasoning. Okay, we need some ingredients. Paprika, smoked paprika, some onion powder, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, and some salt and pepper. Go into a little bowl. Here goes our stuff: pepper, salt, onion powder, garlic powder, paprika, smoked paprika, a little bit more, teaspoon and a half on that one. Then we mix it all together till it looks something like that. Put it aside. Now here's our onions. The recipe called for 4 medium onions. I got a bowl full. We also need a half a pound of Hamburg, some Gruyere cheese, more garlic powder, salt and pepper, and of course our hamburger seasoning. Into a bowl, we got to grate some cheese. So we're going to take the Gruyere. I need a cup. So we'll try and get it about as close as we can. I love this stuff. Usually this is Abby doing it for me, but I decided to do it on my own today, and we'll put that aside. Now here's our onions. Here's our onions peeled. And I also took the top and bottom and kind of flattened them out so they'll sit decent. Now we've got a corm. So there's the top and there's the bottom. So we've got to take the stem out, which is always fun. But then because we're stuffing these things, we got to get a little bit of room in there. So I've tried a spoon. I'm not really sure how I want to do it, but at the end, you can see how much we actually pulled out. We'll put that aside. Now as far as the guts, outside of the core, we're going to chop it all up because we are going to use it when we get done. We'll just get a bowl and put all these onion guts nice and chopped into the bowl. Now it doesn't look like much, but that's just because we've only done one onion. So here we are. There is our onions. There's 7 of them. And the last of the onion bits are ready to go. So into a pan, put a tablespoon and a half of butter, maybe 2. Melt it all down, and in goes all of our onions. There's quite a bit. Oops, missed cutting that onion. Mix around, mix around, mix around. You want the butter to coat the onions for sure. And then you want to cook those onions down till they get nice and soft. And then get them to caramelize so they're nice and brown. You'll see. Now at the same time, we're going to take our half pound of burger and cook that down. Why? Well, because why not? The onion's going to take a while to cook. So rather than stand there watching the onions, let's get our ground beef cooked. Now to that, we're going to put about a half teaspoon of Worcestershire, and to that 1.5 teaspoons of our hamburger seasoning. Now because of that, as it's cooking, I'm thinking, do I really need the extra salt and pepper? I don't think so. So we may not use the extra salt and pepper and garlic. We'll see. Our onions are starting to work out really well. Back to our burger. I think that's ready off the element it goes. Our onions are starting to look a little brown, which is good. Most of the liquid's been cooked out of them, so I think we're ready to go with these too. They look just about right. And we're using this tin foil pan, and there's our cored onions. We'll set them aside. Now into this bowl, goes our hamburger stuffing, ever so carefully. Now this, I don't want the juice in there. This ended up being just enough ground beef to stuff all those onions. There was almost nothing left, which is pretty cool. I'll show you later. So in goes our onions, about half, a good half. We're gonna top the rest of the onions later, but let's get some onions in there, and a good handful of Gruyere cheese, and that gets mixed into our mix. I probably would have put a little extra cheese in there just 'cause that's me, or maybe even thrown a handful in the bottom of these onions. Yeah, I didn't. So here we are. We're going to carefully stuff our onion now, which isn't too bad when you got a decent opening, but I got two little guys and they weren't the easiest to fill. But you know what? We managed. And that's all that's left. So now the rest of our onions, we're going to carefully top each one of these onions with our previously cooked onions. That looks pretty good so far. Preheated 375 degree oven, and I'm going to grab a baking sheet and put that under just in case. In she goes. We're going to let it cook for 35 minutes, and when it comes out, look at that. Looks pretty good. You could go up to 45 minutes and you're not going to hurt anything, but now the rest of the cheese goes on. I'm trying to be careful because I don't want it falling all over. Plus, you know, they're still hot. They just came out of the oven, so I really don't want to burn my fingers. And there we go. Don't those look good? Because they most certainly are. Back in the oven they go. 10 minutes to melt the cheese. And in the end, there they are. That looks pretty cool to me. Now all that's left to do is to grab one to try. So I grabbed a plate and carefully grab one of my onions and another one. There we go. Doesn't that look good? It most certainly is. And like I said before, if you're a fan of onions, you're really going to like these. They were a hit. Hey, another great recipe. I hope you'll give it a try. Leave me a comment below, one way or the other. Listen, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button and hit the bell because that'll tell you the next time I upload a video. Feel free to share this and any of my other videos. And thanks for stopping by and watching. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.